Hey y'all, welcome to social marketing class week 4. I believe it's week 4. I lose track of the weeks as we go because we've done this a couple times now, and so I feel like I've already gone through all the numbers. I'm like, what number are we on? So anyways, week 4, quarter 2. And so we are going to be covering engagement today. And I know we've covered, the 5 different pillars of social marketing that we use on a regular basis. We've covered how to write your bio. We've covered belief. We've covered posting authentically. And so that next part of posting and interacting on social media really is engagement, because you can post all day long, but if you're not getting an engagement and you're not engaging with people, it's not going to do you any good. So I really do think we try to do things in order. I think of what's necessary to know when you're trying to build a business. So obviously, there's a whole lot of other things that also help build your business, stories and all those things. But honestly, engagement is so key and so big. And honestly, there is a right way to do engagement and there's a wrong way to do engagement. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you are doing engagement the wrong way, this is where network marketing, MLM, all of that gets a really bad rap, because people do it really in a wrong way. I think we've all been approached by people who are doing it the wrong way. So we are very, very, very big. Plexus is very big on it. And I know our team is very big on it, is being so authentic and genuine in your journey, that in your engagement, in your commenting, in building relationships, all of that, we never want to come across as anything except trying to help people, because that's really our hearts. Our hearts are to help people in their health, their finances, community, whatever that is. And we have helped so many people that sometimes, the more that you dive into it and the deeper you get into this, your heart actually grows for this. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to see how much you actually even get more of a heart for people as you keep doing this. And so just allowing that to show in how you're posting and how you're engaging with people, how you're building your network. I think just being able to, like I said, show your heart is really going to help you in posting authentically and engaging authentically. So with getting started, so you have just put up a post, right? You put up a super authentic post and, people are liking it. People are commenting. Maybe they're not. Maybe you're getting no likes and comments on it. That's totally fine. First of all, if you get 0 likes or 0 comments on your post, that's okay. I know we talk about the algorithm and how, the algorithm says you need to get this post bumped or not a lot of people are going to see it. It's true, but it's also it's not that nobody's going to see it. There are going to be people who see your post. And I promise you that people are watching you. So no matter what is going on, if nobody says anything on your post, people are watching. I've had a ton of people come to me and say, all right, I've been watching your posts for a while. Tell me about this thing that you're doing, and so, but because I want things to be so authentic and I want it to be genuine, I just want to put it out there, and whoever sees it, and whoever doesn't, that's fine. Hopefully they'll see another one, which is another reason why we talk about being able to post consistently. You want to show up every day and post every day, so that some people who may not have seen today's post will see it tomorrow, and so on. But as far as engagement goes, here are some ways that you can boost your engagement so that more people are seeing your post, more people are interacting with your post, and you have more people that are excited about when you do post. Okay, so we're going to go through something called the winning day in just a few minutes here. The winning day is actually a system that Plexus has set up and put together. And I know we've talked about the winning day as a team before, but this one is very important as far as the order of it. Okay, so I wanted to go back to the winning day and talk about it a little bit, because the order is very important. And so if you want to work with the algorithm and you want more people to engage with your posts, there's a way to do it. There's a way to, okay, I'm going to do this first so that I'm stirring up some engagement. And then I'm going to do this next so that it kind of helps to push my stuff out there. I'm going to do this next. So, and there's just a way to do it that works with the algorithm. And we're going to kind of go through that in a minute. As far as when you put that post up, you've got a few people that liked it. You got, maybe your mom and your dad and your best friend, your husband, whatever, all commented on it. They're like, man, you look so good, whatever, First of all, post back Okay, or comment back on that, because promoting the engagement on that's you basically promoting that your post is getting engagement. Okay, so when people comment on your posts, please make a point to go in and comment back to them. And the more that you can get that engagement going on your post, the better off you're going to be, and the more Facebook will push it out to more people. So your mom comes in and she's like, oh, girl, you look so good. I'm so proud of you. Thanks, mom, so much. I always love your support. How you loving your slim or whatever, and ask a question so that your mom will now comment back. Okay. So then now you have a little bit of a dialogue going on there. Your husband's like, babe, you look so good. Like, so proud of you. Thanks, babe. I always love your support so much. And like, just put something on there that's going to promote that engagement, even if it is like, and here's the thing. I don't love, this is me kind of sidetracking a little bit. I don't love when people comment on my posts inauthentic stuff. Okay. So if somebody who I have a friend who already does Plexus, and they'll comment something like, oh, sign me up, can't wait to get started. I don't like that. I usually delete those off there because I don't want anything that's not authentic on my posts. Okay. I only want authenticity. I only want people that are genuine, and I want people to see that this is working for people. So that kind of goes twofold. When you're commenting on other people's posts and they are Plexus people, do not comment things like, oh, sign me up, can't wait, or like, oh, count me. Like, don't do those posts. Honestly, you will help their post more if you put how Plexus has been helping you. Like, oh my gosh, I love my pink drink. I've been able to really, get a better night's sleep since balancing my blood sugar. Oh my gosh, I love X Factor, and say how Plexus has been helping you. That's a good way to engage with other Plexus people's posts. Okay. Let's not be inauthentic, and let's not encourage people to be inauthentic on our posts either. Okay. So, that's just kind of a little side note there for you. So when you have people that comment on your posts, you finally have someone that pops in and they're like, hey, oh my gosh, tell me more about this. So here's how you're going to engage with those people. Okay. I never go, oh, it's Plexus, and just leave it at that. First of all, I don't tell them what it is, because not that I'm ashamed of it or I want to hide it or anything like that. I just honestly, I want to dive into a message with them and find out what their health goals are. Because if I just say, oh, it's Plexus, they could just go look it up and go order right then and there. Like, I want to be able to talk to them, give them their best deal, give them their best discount, and make sure that we have a chance to be able to have a conversation before they just run and go look it up. So usually I'll just say something like, oh, girl, I'll message you. You're going to love it. And I'll message her like, hey, and I'll jump into my messages and, hey, Nicole, thanks so much for commenting on my post. I always appreciate the support and the love. I'd love to hear more about your health goals and kind of chat through what I've been taking and see if it's a good fit for you, and ask those questions. I actually do the same thing. Even if someone just likes my post, they didn't comment or anything, and someone just likes my post, I'll jump in and I'll say, hey, Jennifer, thank you so much for showing my posts some love and supporting me. I always love when, we can help support each other. Are you looking for a way to help to cut through some inflammation? Like, what health goals are you working on right now? I'd love to see if this is a good fit for you. And just ask those questions. And honestly, just be super real, be super genuine. Like, hey, I'd be super excited to work with you if you'd be open to having a conversation. And just tell people that. Here's the thing is, you don't ever have to come across as if like, I don't want them to think I'm trying to sell them something. Okay, well, we kind of are. First of all, like, it's no secret they liked a post that was clearly you saying that you're selling something. So they're not going to be surprised if you come in and talk to them about your products. Okay, let's just nip that in the bud right there. But also, it's not about you just trying to sell something. You really do want to help them find a better way to live their life, right? Whether that's through their health or their finances or whatever. So I always jump into my messages when someone likes or comments on my post, because I want to offer what I have. If it's not for them, that's totally fine. If they're like, oh no, thank you, I just love the picture of you and your baby, thank you so much. Like, honestly, just, boosting that post helps me so much. So thank you so much. And I love watching pictures of you and your babies too, and just keep that friendly, keep that dialogue going. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be like awkward and uncomfortable and feel salesy or anything. It's just, oh my gosh, well, thank you for doing that. Like, I love you and your pictures of you and your babies too, and move on, And by the way, if you have anybody that is looking for a way to heal their gut lining or get rid of migraines or whatever, like, please let me know, because I would love to help them out with what knowledge I do have. And then they're like, okay, sure, I'll pass them along. Sometimes they'll pass them along. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, wait, what did you say about more energy? I could use more energy. I didn't know it did that, and then you actually do start to have that conversation. So never leave the conversation with just like, okay, well, just let me know. Like always say, here's some things that can help with. Let me know if you have anybody that, meets that criteria, or, or honestly, even a better way is to ask the question, do you know anyone that suffers from any of those types of things? That I'd love to chat with them and see if this is something that could help them, and always ask a question. So engagement goes far beyond even just your own post. It actually goes into your message, and it goes further than that. I never leave a message with a statement, to be very honest with you. I want that conversation to keep going, and I always want the ball to be in their court. Like I don't want it to be left with me where I'm like, all right, well, cool. Let me know. I've got a sale going. Let me know if this interests you. Like, they're probably not going to let you know, to be very honest with you. So the better way to do it is to, when you're doing a follow-up, or you're doing, a first reach out or whatever, always find a way to ask a question at the very end of that, so that they, have something to answer, and have it be a specific question. Don't have it be something that's like open-ended, like, how are you doing today? Like that's small talk. And to be honest, 90% of people don't love small talk. So, ask a specific question like, oh my gosh, I just saw that, you and your family were at a basketball tournament this weekend. Like, where were you at for that? Oh, did they win? Like, and ask those questions, get to know them as a person, ask them questions about their family. I'm going to look at what Kristen just said. Yes, Jamie Haskins says, let me know are the official conversation killers. And that's so true. Let me know. They're not going to let you know. They're really not. And honestly, you just shot that conversation in the foot, because now you got to go back and be like, are you ready to let me know yet? You have nothing to follow up with. Okay. So, because you've just kind of left it there to where it's like, it's not going anywhere. Now they're only just going to let you know. Okay. Where if you're asking questions, then they've got something that they can come back with. Or, what I'll do is, hey, listen, watch this video. I'm going to check in with you later this evening, because I know you said you wanted to watch the video and chat with your husband. I'll check back in with you later this evening. Is 8:00 okay? And I'll kind of, get a gauge for where you guys are at and see if you had a chance to watch that video. And, I'm still keeping the conversation going, but if it's something where like they had to go, I won't be like, okay, well, get back to me when you're like, that's not going to happen. I'm setting an appointment to get back with them later on. Always be setting that next appointment. Okay. Always be asking a question. Always be setting that next appointment. That way, when you come back around and you're doing a follow-up, it's not surprising. Okay. Follow-ups are only uncomfortable if they're unexpected. Okay. They're only uncomfortable if they're unexpected. They are totally fine. And honestly, if they're expecting you to follow up, it's okay for you to jump in and follow up. They already knew it was coming, and they're okay with it. Okay. I promise you. So, anyways, so like I said, engagement goes way beyond even just commenting and liking on a post. It goes into your messages, and engagement is keeping that message going too, keeping them engaged in the conversation, keeping you engaged in the conversation. Okay. You never want to excuse yourself from the conversation with okay, let me know. I'll see myself out. That's not, you want to stay in there and stay and like, have that conversation with them. Okay. You basically just invited them into your house for coffee and then took off and was like, okay, well, let me know if the coffee's good. And then just left your own house. Like, stay in the house, like have that conversation with them. You invited them into this, stay there and make it a warm environment for them. Get to know their family, get to know who they are as a person. See if this is even a good fit for you. Okay. Because you want to be friends with the people that you are doing your business with and that you are helping. Okay. You want to be friends with these people because you want to have a genuine back and forth trust with each other. So that's as far as engagement goes with your post into your message. That's what I wanted to cover. I do want to go into what engagement looks like with other people on social media, but that's part of the winning day. And I'm going to have Kristen cover the winning day a little bit here.
Awesome. I love everything you just said. It's so true. Engagement is where it's at, y'all. Because you can post all day long, and if nobody's commenting and nobody's, seeing it or talking with you, it's not going to go very far. So I love this winning day, the 7 steps to the winning day that corporate released a couple months ago at Gold School. I don't know if you guys are like me, this is going to be like a lifesaver because it's going to actually time block your IPA, your daily tasks into increments, that is a recipe for success. Okay. The way they came up with this is that they actually were working with diamonds and people that are top producers in this company, and asked them, what do they do each day? And, how are they able to build this business? And this is what they came up with. And each part of this, what you want to think of this as is a recipe. Okay. It's not just a, check off the list. No, it's a recipe. What do you do with the recipe? Well, you have to follow it in order so that you get what you want at the end. Okay. So think of it more of as a recipe, not just like something you can kind of pick and choose, a task list that you can prioritize yourself. I'm going to go ahead and screen share because that way you can follow along and kind of see what I'm seeing. Bear with me while I remember how to do that on here. Share content.
I'll also drop it into the social
I'm not a host.
so that you guys have a copy of it.
Do you want to share it, Natalie, or make me a host? Because it won't let me right now. You're on mute. You're still on mute.
There you go.
Okay.
Listen, I know how to do social media. I don't know how to unmute my microphone, okay?
We struggle with Zoom. All right. Let's see. Share screen. Actually, it tells me I could share a photo. Let's try that real quick. That might be easier. Select photo. Okay. Done. All right. Can y'all see that? Awesome. Okay. So what you'll see here is the first thing that Plexus recommends that we do. And you can see that this is 15 minutes increments, and then you see a 60. What you want to, like I said, treat this like a recipe. And so what do? If you're wanting to double your recipe, you'll double these times. So like, I think this comes out to 2.5 hours, I believe. So you've got 45 minutes, 60. Yeah, I think it comes out to 2.5 hours. So if you've got more time in your day, then you can double this recipe, but you'll want to do each thing doubled, not just, pick and choose. Oh, I really like to do such and such, so I'll, double this part of it, but not this part of it. No, double each thing so that you can, get the results that you're looking for. So the first thing that you'll see is that we want to actually be the one to engage. Sow seeds for later is the way that they put this. When you're sowing seeds for later, what you're doing basically is prepping your audience for your post that you're about to put up. Okay, this is all going to play towards that algorithm that we've talked about in the past. When you actually go and engage with your prospects and people that you're wanting to see your content, and they engage back with you. So this is when I say engage, I'm saying go to their pages, see what posts they've put up, and comment and like those posts. Or in their stories, you could engage in their stories, because sometimes people don't put up content every single day. So you could go to their stories and engage in that story. And Facebook will the algorithm keeps track of that too. Who are you interacting with? Are they speaking back to you? Well, if you've got people that you want for sure to see your post, if you can go and engage on their post, you'll actually tell the algorithm, hey, show them my post. And if they're engaging back with you, then it definitely gets shown to them. So that is an important part of this recipe, because you do want your people to see your post. All you're doing, by the way, side note, if all you're doing is engaging on Plexus people's posts because you're in post bumpers and you're trying to stay true to your post bumpers, listen, post bumpers has a place. We love it for what it is worth. But if you put too much of your investment or too much of your time and effort into post bumpers, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. So follow this recipe so that you get the right people to be looking at your stuff. So you're going to sow seeds 15 minutes. And then after that, that's when you'll want to put your post up. Guys, I've been working through this. I have not gotten this down to a science quite yet, but I have been working through this actually today. And I will say in this, when you're putting your post up, I know for me, sometimes I can get caught up here because I'm a perfectionist, or I get distracted by something else. That's happening all day long too, by the way. So you're going to have to really find self-control and discipline to stay in these increments. Oh, by the way, set a timer. Well, I know it shows you that, but that's an important part of this. Because if you're just, oh yeah, I'll spend 15 minutes here or there, you're not, you're not being exact. And this isn't exact. That's another thing about a recipe, right? You have to be exact with it. So set your timer, do your 15 minutes. My point to say that if you have a hard time getting content up or getting distracted, you may want to spend some time, maybe Sunday night, coming up with your ideas for a post throughout that week so that you're not scrambling to get your post up in that 15 minutes. Or if you like to put up really well curated photos, maybe you need to spend time editing your photos on Sunday, or whatever, before you're going to be in this 15-minute increment, so that whenever it is time to post that, it's done ahead of time. I know for me, one of the big things that the hard part for me is the writing process of that. And if I have the idea, it's usually easier. But if you're just coming into it just willy-nilly, and this is me today, I'm like, I don't know what I want to post. I don't know exactly, what kind of, if am I going to talk about products? Am I going to talk about the business? If I, am I going to talk about, am I going to share a testimony? But if you have an idea, this is why, planning ahead of time with content and content back where you're, how to make your post be more relatable. So if you haven't watched those, go back and watch it. This also says additionally make 2 reels and 1 live per week. I think that's an important thing to look at, because a lot of us don't necessarily think in those terms yet. And so that needs to be something that you are working towards. Obviously, if you don't know how to do reels yet, that's not going to be able to happen in 15 minutes likely. So this is something that you may need to, outside of your winning day, go and research and learn. And if you are having trouble with that, you need to talk to your sponsor, because likely they know how to help you. But yes, you should be going for 2 reels, and I think that's a good goal to have. I think sometimes we get into this place where we're like, oh my gosh, I need to do what everybody else is doing, and they say I got to have a reel every single day for 30 days in order for my account on Instagram to grow. Guys, that's not real. If you haven't been making any reels, that's probably an unrealistic goal for you. So an unrealistic goal. There's my punny for the day. So also having 1 live per week is something that you can shoot for as well. That's something that you really don't need to have a lot of preparation for in advance. So having that as one of your goals is going to be really good for your algorithm. People really do watch those, and they start to know you because of those. Same with getting in your stories and going live in there. So videos are so important. So I really love that. I wanted to point out that working towards doing 2 reels a week and 1 live per week is a great goal to have. And obviously, we've talked about this before in our posting. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire. So the next 15 minutes, you're going to want to introduce 3 people to your Plexus vision. So what is this? This is your 3 new reach outs. It says vary your communication methods, be sure your values match, and keep it authentic, trust the system, and go for 3 no's. We talked about this, I believe, last time. We want to go for 3 no's a day. So what does that mean? You're likely going to need to introduce more than 3 people. I will say that, but try to do it in that 15-minute increment. Well, I mean, honestly, I guess that does make sense. Maybe Natalie, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I wasn't here for the teaching on this, but introducing 3 people means you're actually having 3 conversations. It's not just your reach outs. This is you actually being engaged in conversation with people. So you want to have at least 3 people come back to you and say, no, thank you. And that will give you a good gauge that you're sending in messages, because that means that other people will come back and say, okay, I'm willing to listen. So it's a good goal to have, is that those 3 no's. And then you move on to see where this biggest time block is. And this is moving people to the next step in their relationship. They want you to spend an hour on this. So this is where your follow-ups come into. I think a lot of times we put a lot of emphasis on reaching out to new people, when you can see in this recipe, it's not so much about your new reach outs as it is about your follow-ups. And what those follow-ups are, that's going to be not only following up with your prospects and moving them down the funnel, but it's also following up with your retail customers and helping them take the next step, and then your VIPs and helping them take the next step, and casting vision for those people, that maybe are ready to share. So whatever that looks like, this 60 minutes you need to spend making, oh, we have 10 minutes, so I will go fast. I just got an alert. I don't know if you saw that, Natalie. But basically, we want to help people make the next micro commitment, whatever that looks like. So if you've got somebody you've been talking to about products and they're just not quite ready to, they haven't been ready to pull the trigger. Well, what do you need to do to help them with the next micro? Can I add you to the testimony page? I've had some testimonies that I saw that reminded me of you. Can I add you to those? And then you tag them. That's going to be the next, a micro commitment for that person. Whether it's, and then if they have a retail customer, can you help them upgrade their account to a VIP membership? Of course, we try to, as a team, not really sign retail customers because it's always going to be the better idea to get the VIP. But if you have a person that's a retail customer, help them make that next micro commitment. And then if you have a VIP, oh my gosh, you are having, I love that you're having these results on your products. Would you be willing to share that? That's helping them make the next micro commitment. Okay, so then you move on to 15 minutes, use third-party validation as social proof. What do they mean by this? So let Plexus be the expert. All you have to do is promote the next company call, promote the next company event, the next company promotion or incentive. So we have tons of things that corporate has offered us, but it's all, even with our team, and not everybody has this kind of support. BU has so much support and events, and even us as a smaller team, we have like weekly events that you can plug people into. So you want to spend 15 minutes inviting people is what I was trying to say. Let's just squish that into a smaller sentence. We want to spend 15 minutes inviting people to the next event, whatever that might be. Okay.
We're talking about engagement, think of this as like them getting engaged with the community, so like engagement even just goes far beyond just engaging in a conversation. It's engaging with our community. So, we do our welcome calls every, our first of the month. We do team calls, Gut Health and Happiness. They don't even have to be one of our customers yet. Gut Health and Happiness does little events where they talk about how people are finding freedom from, different health issues and things like that in there. So always having something to invite them to, or a way for them to connect with our community. This is them getting engaged in our community.
Absolutely. And and kind of going back to the step or the step before that, the one we're talking about here, the 60 minutes, micro commitments is also, it's all about engagement. If we want to really talk and hone in on that, like I'd love to use the example of our challenge that we're doing right now. We could be helping people with their micro commitments in that challenge. And that is a way of we want them engaging in this, right? We want them participating in the weekly challenges. We want them tagging their friends in posts that, that make sense or resonate with them. So it's all about engagement. Make sure we're using these resources that we have to engage our customers and our VIPs and our team members to make that next micro commitment, whatever that looks like. Okay, so then the second to last one, stay relevant in your social feed. This is where we want to make sure we're showing up in stories. I will say they have 15 minutes here that you really need to be, I guess, intentional with that. But I would say I would challenge you to make sure that you're doing that throughout the day. If you can get in the habit of doing that throughout the day, that's something that will be more so, just second nature. And the more stories that you can have up there, I mean, obviously you could go too overboard, but you do want to have more than just 3 a day. This is telling you to, shoot for the 3 stories a day that add value. So I would say shoot for more than that, but 3 at least to add value, to your specific audience with what your specific goals are so that you can really encourage engagement, using the, the slider with the little heart eyes or the polls or, because you're not going to do that with every single personal story that you put up, but I would say you would use this 15 minutes to make sure that you're creating content or creating stories that will encourage engagement, people going back and forth. Maybe it's something Plexus related specific or not. You want to encourage that engagement to talk with your audience.
Yeah, what I've done in the past with this portion is, and it seems to work well for me, is because like Kristen said, obviously you're not going to squeeze all of your stories into 15 minutes because that's all going to expire and then it's just done. So the next day. So you want to keep it always overlapping and flowing. So what I'll generally do is I'll be posting my personal life throughout the day. And then I'll use this 15 minutes to do whatever my plexus stuff is going to be in my stories, but then make sure that throughout the day, I'm just posting regular things like that I'm out for a walk, or that I'm at a concert, or this is a recipe that I found, or whatever. But then this 15 minutes I use for like, here's, let me educate you about plexus, or let me educate you about gut health, or let me just go live and talk to you in my stories, or whatever that might be. I'll use this 15 minutes, but the first thing I'll do is something personal in that first 15 minutes, because you never just want to like start with that. So I'll do something personal right away, whether it's just me talking about something or a cute picture of my kid. And then I'll do my plexus, slides or whatever. And then that's my 15 minutes there. And then the rest of the day, I'm just adding to it.
Yep, that's good. All right. And then the last part of this recipe is duplication. This is where, and I want y'all to recognize that this is last, because it's very, very easy to let this portion of this business, the deeper you get into it, it's very easy to let that kind of run your entire day. Because this is when we're going to be engaging with our teams. This is going to be where we're helping out, our runners to basically help them duplicate down. So it's kind of managing your team. And if you're not intentional about this, that can literally kind of start your day, and then you can stay in that all day long. And I'm preaching to the choir here. This is something that I have to be personally intentional about. And this reminds me of that, because it's the last thing in this recipe, y'all. This is where, you hear Plexus say, pay yourself first. That's what they're talking about. You have to be building your personal business, your personal reach outs, your prospecting, your recruiting, all of that has to be done first. And there's a reason for it. Okay. And then you move on to duplication. And once you get that done, it's so nice, because then you can really truly be there for your team without feeling like you're behind and you haven't done your own thing. So duplication, a business cannot grow without duplication. Spend time teaching your business builders how to do the things you're doing. Make it your goal to get your people where you are. So that's it. Natalie, anything to add to that?
I love this. And I know this is more how to, just even with Plexus, just doing your IPA. But honestly, the reason we wanted to cover the winning day today is because it really is just engagement, and engagement is important. It's what keeps you relevant. It's what keeps you, in with your prospects. It's what builds trust with your people. And so the more that you can stay relevant and keep engaged and keep your team engaged and whatnot, you've got to look through the lens always of engagement. What's going to keep this conversation engaged? What's going to keep this person engaged? What's going to keep, and constantly be asking yourself that question with each person. And it might look different for every person. The part where it talks about look for that next step for what, each person, where's the next thing that's going to help them to stay engaged? Is it a video? Is it it doesn't have to be anything massive. Is it a video? Is it a testimonial? Is it a call? Do they need to get on a call with your sponsor? Is it what does that look? Do we want to set up a coffee and just chat? What does that next step look like? The micro commitments don't have to be anything massive, and it doesn't have to be anything that's like just Plexus related either. It could literally be, hey, what do you think about going out for coffee? I'd love to just get to know you and pick your brain and, get to know you a little bit more. It might be just moving them in the next step of what your relationship looks like. That sounds funny to say that. The next step of your relationship. But you know what I mean? To take it from, I enjoy making friends. Like, I'm an extrovert through and through. I enjoy making friends. So for me, like, building relationships and adding value in person is really important to me. So I love, adding that next step, as far as like whether we do a play date or go to coffee or whatever. Like, that's always something fun I love to do. So think outside the box, but always be engaging on Facebook. Be engaging with your prospects. The more you do that, the more they're going to engage with your stuff. I promise you sowing into others' social feeds, they're going to sow into yours as well. The more that you are engaging, stop scrolling. We always talk about stop the scroll. I'm going to say stop the scroll and actually start commenting and liking on stuff, because I think we all get in the habit of just like scrolling through to look for people and like, oh yeah, that person, I need to go and reach out to them again. Or no, stop and comment on their stuff. Like, engage with them so that they stay engaged with you. Engagement is so important. So, all right, you guys. Well, I'm excited to see how you guys pour into this. Keep that winning day next to you, and let's have an awesome week. I can't wait to see you guys. No, we're off next week, the week after. See you then. Bye, y'all.